On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
And I'm proud that came about to try, to flip the script on that. But like,
all I did is I took that statement, I broke it down in layers, because light-skinned people do exercise light-skinned privilege. And the closer they get away from that, guess what happens? I mean, we see this all the time. So, I mean, I'm glad that you see and say, because now I can understand your answer better, because you say you're not either. You're not judged by the color of your skin. So I'm with you there. But if we're going to talk about pro-black and people run around with their fists up talking about pro-black, and then now they love light-skinned kids, they love this. As far as they get away from being black, they're more happier. So but I appreciate your empathy.
Those are the same people.
That's a whole other conversation about colorism. That's a whole other conversation.
You think that the same people who walk around talking about I'm pro-black are the same ones like
I want to be the lighter the better?
These are two different groups you could be talking about.
Being white enough, not being black enough, like not being a part of any one culture. And let's be real, like, the mom's culture is probably usually the most dominant one, unless they come from like a wealthy white family. But even then, that child in that wealthy white family is probably never going to fit in, never going to feel, like they're accepted. So there are those nuances that we have to consider. But I guess marrying outside, to answer the question, no, I don't think you can marry outside your race and still be pro-black.
Hey, I got one thing to add though. I want to test y'all blackness, because you and Courtney don't look like y'all all the way black. So I'm testing y'all pro-blackness.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear, okay? If I walk outside and somebody white look at me, you think they're gonna say, "You look ambiguous"?
Right?
No, they're not.
It does not have that ambiguous.
That's the other thing.
But that's the same thing with mixed kids, though. They're gonna be looked at as black.
Right. And that's the other thing I wanted to say. Like, our pro-blackness shouldn't have anything to do with what outsiders looking in view us as. Because, like the brother said earlier, black people are not a monolith, and skin folk ain't always kinfolk. So there's
it's literally an oxymoron. It's a contradiction to say that, well, when I walk outside, it's how people view me, but then a mixed kid that may look black is not necessarily black anymore because their father is maybe white or their mother may be white, then they're not black based off of how we view them. Like, it's silly. I don't even think people that advocate for pro-black really understand or really have a real construct for how it is that they define somebody for being pro-black. So then it just makes it a whole contradiction, because they pick and choose when it makes sense and when it doesn't make sense. They don't even know the percentage of what somebody is supposed to be in order to be pro-black. It's all of it is crazy.
There's no percentage. Whatever black you are, the point is that you're trying to procreate black. But this, like, y'all act like that there isn't currently a whole like disgusting fetish with mixed children. Like y'all act like the media is
moving the goalposts, and we ain't even got there yet. We ain't even got there. We just trying to define what pro-black is, so we can have an authentic conversation. And you already conflating the argument for no reason.
I'm not conflating an argument. I'm bringing up another argument.
Okay. What are your thoughts about it? Can you marry outside your race and still be pro-black?
I think that there are outliers that can, but I think generally speaking, for the most part, if you're pro-black, you're going to marry a black person.
Can I edit this, JR? I got a question. I just want to get something out of my head. And it's for the what's T the Goddess?
Mm-hmm.
T the Goddess. Is it a such thing as white privilege? Do you think because we pro-black, is it such thing as white privilege?
Yes, there is a thing as white privilege.
All right.
I don't believe there's a thing as white supremacy.
Okay, no, I said white privilege. Is it such thing as light skin privilege?
I mean, I guess that's what, according to some people's realities.
Okay. Now, do you deny your light skin privilege?
I mean,
you accept it. So if somebody giving you a privilege for being light skinned, do you deny it or you accept it?
How do you know that you're being given a privilege just for being light skinned?
Yeah, come on now. Yeah, hey, look,
Remind readers.
At the end of the day, light-skinned females in this world, they exercise their privilege they have. And the thing is, that's how you know this whole pro-black thing don't make no sense. You can't even find a definition to pro-black. Because see, the lighter you get, you exercise a certain level of privileges. And I don't see nobody, no light-skinned female pushing back on this. So
there are plenty.
So you just listening first.
I know plenty of light-skinned girls.
Hold
on, y'all. One at a time. One at a time. So they can hear.
Logic. No one's pushed back. Can I just say? Let me just say something, because Mr. Logic, you sound very sure as shit about every light-skinned woman in the world or whatever, and I don't know whose experience you're speaking to, but you definitely weren't speaking to mine.
I was speaking in general, ma'am. I was just talking to you.
That's a crazy generalization to make for someone that you've never met, never spoken to. You looking at me and judging me the same way the cops probably look at your ass and judge you when you out on the street. Like, I don't understand.
You are absolutely right, T.
I really don't understand.
And here's the thing, you wasn't getting pushback from all of us because you was having a one-on-one conversation with Miss T, the goddess.
But now, I'm passing it to you, yeah, because I'm done.
But do I believe that there's light skin privilege? I do. But it's not only in the Black community. It's when people that have pigment, that have melanin, it is a privilege to be light skin, dark skin. That's with the Asian community as well, the Indian community as well. That's just a complex that we have mentally within ourselves of people of color, period, that goes beyond Black folks that deem light skin is better. And that has to do with talking about white supremacy, or the essence of what beauty was and always was that European look. That's why you have Africans right now, Jamaicans right now, bleaching their skin, trying to get lighter. So is that a thing? Yes, but it doesn't negate, and there is a definition of being pro-Black, and it doesn't negate being pro-Black. Mm-hmm. Just because you're Black and procreate Black doesn't necessarily mean you are pro-Black. It is an essence of you not only procreating, but you're for the investment of Black culture, economically, educationally, investing in your culture, loving yourself, loving your aesthetics. So again, you can understand light skin privilege because that's a universal thing. It's not just with our culture, but being pro-Black is, again, the advancement of us as a people. And we can't advance ourselves if we don't create ourselves.
And might I add, I don't identify as Black. That's a construct that I unlearned a long time ago. I'm a Moorish Aboriginal woman.
Sound like my cousin.
I'm a first-generation Jamaican woman that grew up in the country in Jamaica. So, like, that's, I didn't want to derail the whole convo by even saying that, So for the sake of it, I'll play along. But there's that, too.
I can respect that last piece. I'm more aligned with that.
My cousin says that all the time. She's like, I'm not a color. She's like,
right.
I'm an African woman.
And not to mention, that was a term that was given to us to try to demean us and demean our experience. And then, that's why the whole "say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud" that came about to try, to flip the script on that. But like,
all I did is I took that statement, I broke it down in layers, because light-skinned people do exercise light-skinned privilege. And the closer they get away from that, guess what happens? I mean, we see this all the time. So, I mean, I'm glad that you sit here and say, because now I can understand your answer better, because you say you're not either. You're not judged by the color of your skin. So I'm with you there. But if we're going to talk about pro-Black and people run around with their fists up talking about pro-Black, and then now they love light-skinned kids, they love this, as far as they get away from being Black, they're more happier. So but I appreciate your empathy.
Those are the same people.
That's a whole other conversation about colorism. That's a whole other conversation.
You think that the same people who walk around talking about I'm pro-Black are the same ones like
I want to be the lighter, the better.
Two different groups you could be talking about.